Communities came together post-earthquake and during the earthquake sequence. So there was a huge strengthening of connections between people. But I think there's perhaps a confidence in the community that if something happens, we know that we can come together and manage it. Definitely it was a very real thing in the earthquake, wasn't it, with the Student Volunteer Army, for example, and the Farming Army and all those people. That's the Kiwi thing, we just get out and help people.
After the first earthquake in Christchurch, the 2010 earthquake, a group of students recognised there was a need for help. So Sam Johnson set up the student base for earthquake cleanup, and they had about 1,000 students out there cleaning up silt, liquefaction from the earthquake. And then about 6 months later, the second earthquake happened. And then they ended up having, 11,000 students volunteer with them, and they cleaned up 400,000 tonnes of silt. The earthquakes provided a really unique starting point and an ignition point almost that really allowed us to get that recognition as a group to come to if you need help. A movement like this, it needs an ignition point from which to build on.
Christchurch people do need to start looking up a bit. We are still looking at the cracks in the footpaths and the broken roads a wee bit, forgetting to see and look for the new life and the vibrancy and the rebuilt things, and to celebrate those things.
There was also a surge of creativity after the earthquakes, so there was a bit of a blank canvas, so a lot of people had a lot of time to just be themselves and kind of discover their own gifts. The city probably would have never been able to take some of the big steps forward with the rest of the world without having this kind of clean slate to build on.
Since the earthquakes, people have been presenting with very complex issues. It's a great resource for them to access because they can see a number of agencies from one location.
We see community organisations as really the fabric of society, so they make a huge contribution. And if you think of some of the government's thinking around well-being at the moment, so social capital is one of the key strands of that. Community sector organisations really are a really vital part of the social capital of our society. So it's kind of the glue that holds our communities together.
It's the people that make the centre, so essentially we could be a building anywhere. But it's the groups that support and work in the environment that really make the facility work.
The sense of belonging, and with community, with a group of people all working on something, you really have that. And we used to find that in places like work or even in church, but now we're realizing that when we have things in common, we can get groups of people to work together on it.